All right, welcome into Chicago Bears Now, little Christmas Eve special here on the channel. My name is Harrison Graham, producer Colin with us as well. Although he is going to have to fix something in the studio. You'll see here in a second if you don't already. Shout out your city. We got a little light coming through, so he's got to go get that covered up. So he'll be right back. But I can get some shout outs in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from, and hope everybody is doing great here on a Wednesday, here on a Christmas Eve. It is that time of the year. We got Livy and Gary, Indiana, Chi-Town from Big Papa. Stick and Pick says, Harrison, how's it hanging? I'm good, bro. I'm good. Doing the stream and then meeting the fam. So we actually have to cut things off at about 4:15 today, but we'll still have a fun show. Brandon in Stephenville. We got Tyler Villa, he's back home in Orland Park, Illinois. Tyler Villa helped bringing home that dub against the Packers. We got Royce in Sunnyside, Washington. Ravon in North Carolina. Brian in Owings Mills, Maryland. Let's see, Kenny in Memphis, Tennessee. David in Gold Beach, Oregon. We got Amanda in Knox, Indiana. Big Ron in Iowa, Davey and Helena, Bear Down in Plainfield, Illinois. We got Rich Mast in New York. Bringing in some reinforcements to, let's see. Yep, that should do it. If we're able to. Yeah, you're gonna need the old. The old, what's it called, step. You may have to get, nope. Gonna need some more tape there, fellas. Let's get a whole roll of tape here, fellas. All right, we got Tony in Houston, Whip in Wheeling, West Virginia, Michael Fleming in Sarasota, Ethan in Kentucky. We got Kolish in Addison. We'll get the show rolling here. Yes, we do have some injury news. We could talk about that here while we're waiting. Some good news, actually. Both Luther Burden and C.J. Gardner-Johnson were limited in today's practice. Rome Odunze did not practice, but those two guys were able to at least partially participate. Brad Biggs seems to think that Luther Burden has a good chance of playing on Sunday, so that obviously would be a positive. And then we'll see when it comes to C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I'm guessing that Rome Odunze misses another game, but with C.J. Gardner-Johnson in particular, I mean, that did not look good the other night when they obviously took the field. Maybe point that and never mind. I thought it was pointing at it. So we'll see. We'll see. Some other stuff as well. A couple other guys limited. A couple guys sick. 3 guys did not practice with illness. We'll get to those here in just a few moments once the brilliant lighting crew gets situated behind the old scenes. I mean, this is Oh no, we're not far enough to the edge, fellas. Oh no, we're scratching, we're clawing. I think it's still leaking through. What a disaster with the there's like, so just to kind of paint the picture, we've got blackout curtains in the studio because we're up on like the 20th floor of our building, and there's windows in here, blackout curtains, but there's like little cracks on the edge where sunlight can get through sometimes, and this just happens to be the perfect time of day when some sunlight can come through. So that is just kind of the old situation right now, but hopefully that's going to hold there. Do we think some like cross tape up top just to be a little safe there, fellas? We got Cullen and one of our other producers, Andrew, on the scene. Andrew's got a few. He's got some height on Cullen to help out because they got to get it up in the top corner there. So it seems fairly steady there. We got to do a little cross piece there just to be safe. All right. I think that's going to That's gonna hold. We're gonna cross our fingers there, fellas. We're gonna cross our fingers there. Is Andrew better than Cullen? Both are fantastic. Both are fantastic. And guess who asked that question? Mike Nintendo Master. the rankings man himself, as Cullen's webcam just went flying. We're off the rails early, but you know what? It's Christmas Eve, and we're gonna battle through. We're gonna battle through.
It's your favorite short person, Cullen, back on the mic here. Shout out my Nintendo Master. Yes, Andrew is in every way. What up, guys? What's up, fellas? Hopefully that holds. I'm not. Hopefully that stays, and you're covered.
We're gonna find out. We will find out. That is for sure. All right, hit that like button. We're gonna dive into this segment here. We'll save those super chats for the first mailbag. We got a lot to get into today, and like I mentioned a few minutes ago, we got to cut things off about 4:15 today. So I want to dive into the content early today. So hit that like button. Let's get some more Bears fans in here, and we can get this party started here on Chicago Bears Now. Here's what we got coming up on today's show: the latest news and injury updates. We heard from all three coordinators at Halas Hall today, so got a reaction on one thing each of them said, plus some injury news on the Bears, and a bit of a George Kittle update from Kyle Shanahan. We'll take your questions, hashtag Bears or Super Chat. We'll answer those for 10 or 15 minutes. Want to dive a little bit more into Caleb Iceman Williams. A couple of stats I want to dive into and just how clutch he's been this year. And then big game coming up, Bears at 49ers. This will be our final preview. We filmed a joint preview with our 49ers report host. That should go out tomorrow, but this one will go out on game day this Sunday. So stay tuned for all of that. My name is Harrison Graham. Busy show ahead. We'll dive into it next here on Chicago Bears Now. I'm Harrison Graham. It was Coordinator Wednesday this week, with tomorrow being Thursday. Probably a lighter day for the coaches on Christmas Day tomorrow. So they spoke to the media today at Halas Hall. We react to that, plus some injury updates on the Bears, including some good news on a couple of key players. We also have a George Kittle update from Kyle Shanahan that I want to dive into as well. This is Chicago Bears Now. Let's go ahead and jump on in. Dennis Allen was praising the 49ers offense earlier today, and why wouldn't he? They were fantastic against the Colts the other night and really have been good for several weeks now since Brock Purdy struggled in a win over the Panthers a little over a month ago. Here's what DA had to say about the 49ers offense. He said, in all facets of the game, they're performing at a high level. And that was certainly true the other night. At times this year, their run game has not been as efficient. They've had to lean on the passing game, whether it be Brock Purdy or Mac Jones. And Mac Jones played some good football when he had to fill in for Purdy for, 8 starts or whatever it is. Purdy has played in 7 games. Mac has played in 8. So they've gotten good production from both quarterbacks so far this year. But to DA's point, especially the other night against the Colts, I thought it was their most complete game from an offensive standpoint. Brock Purdy threw 5 touchdowns in the game as the 49ers were able to throw for 300 yards, spread the ball around to different weapons. Kittle, McCaffrey, Jawan Jennings had a big game as well. And then also they were able to run the ball. It was CMC's best game running the football as he had over 120 yards rushing. And I think that's going to be the key for the Bears, is you got to slow down Christian McCaffrey on the ground. You've got to limit his production as a runner. And you might say, oh, that's going to be difficult. And yes and no, but before this game against the Colts, the 49ers had not been that efficient running the football. Christian McCaffrey had only averaged 3.6 yards per carry coming into that game, but then in that game he averaged close to 6. But you look at the year, yeah, he's got a bunch of yards, but it's only 3.7 yards per carry. That 49ers offensive line has been pretty average, especially in run blocking, and McCaffrey has not gotten a ton of explosives this year on the ground. So if you're Dennis Allen, if you're the Bears, that's step number one, is keep Christian McCaffrey at bay. Low 4s, high 3s. Don't let him get out 4.5, 5.5 yards per carry, because that's when you're in trouble. Because Brock Purdy's in a big rhythm right now. He's spreading the football around, and he's playing really, really well. So if you make them one-dimensional, gives you a much better chance to get stops. Okay, Declan Doyle sounded off on the Bears' iconic game-winning touchdown against the Packers on Saturday night. He was asked about how that play kind of came to be. He said, quote, "We felt really good about that play call. I thought it would have come up earlier in the game, but it didn't, and it ended up being the perfect time." And I don't know about you guys, but I've watched the video, all the different angles. I don't know. I bet if I added it all up, I've seen that touchdown in some regard probably close to triple-digit times. I would say somewhere between 75 and 100 times I have watched that touchdown pass from Caleb Williams to DJ Moore, and I truly think it's one of the most iconic moments in the history of the Chicago Bears. You just think about what it meant for so many things. Number one, you beat your arch rival who has absolutely dominated this rivalry for the better part of the last 30 years. You take control of the NFC North to take a game-and-a-half lead with 2 weeks to go. In a game in which you weren't playing that good to begin with. It took a big comeback in the last few minutes, an onside kick, just to even get to that moment, to get over the hump, to put yourself in, to essentially clinch a playoff spot, which became official on Sunday when the Steelers beat the Lions. It was quite the moment. It was awesome, and Ben and Caleb talked about it after the game. Declan talked about it today, how they put that play in, and you could not have executed it any better. Protection held up. Caleb slides left just enough, kind of subtle footwork, and throws an absolute perfect throw to DJ Moore for the game-winning touchdown. An awesome catch, an awesome moment, an awesome night for the Chicago Bears. Okay, Richard Hightower sounded off on the onside kick, which obviously set it all up, right? If you don't get that, at best, you get the ball back with like a minute 10 left and have to go the length of the field. But they did get the onside kick, and here's what Hightower had to say about that play. He said, "Josh Blackwell practices ricochets on onside kicks like you wake up and brush your teeth every morning. Daniel Hardy got a phenomenal jump on the play. He and Noah Sewell are the keys to that play." And if you watch it closely, Noah Sewell cracks Romeo Doubs on that play, which certainly led to his inability to jump on the ball after he dropped it initially. Listen, special teams, it was a bit of a rough go early in the year, but really since the bye week, it's been really good. They've cleaned up the kickoff coverage issues that were plaguing them early in the season. Cairo Santos was awesome the other night, and obviously you got the onside kick as well. Torrey Taylor had a couple of nice punts. Special teams were a big reason why you won that game. Cairo kept you in the game with those tough kicks in those conditions. Didn't give up any explosive returns, and obviously you get the onside kick to give yourself a chance to win. Of course, there's a component of luck to onside kicks, but I think that unit in general, the last couple of months of the year, has been really, really good, and we have to give Richard Hightower credit because fans were calling for him to be fired early on in the year, and he certainly turned things around, and he's done it quickly. Subscribe to the channel. We bring you guys daily Bears news, rumors, injury updates, and a whole lot more. We, of course, go live for every single Bears football game. We'll be live this Sunday night when the Bears take on the 49ers at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. So be sure to subscribe and join us for all of that and more here on Bears Now by Chat Sports. All right, coming up, we have some great updates on the Bears injury report for 2 players, so you're going to want to stick around for that. Plus, Kyle Shanahan made a comment on George Kittle's injury status as well. Want to dive into that a little bit too. But we do have to tell you guys about our awesome sponsor first. That is Prize Picks, daily fantasy made easy at prizepicks.com/CLNS. It is the holiday season, the best time of year for sports, bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there's only one place where it feels good to be right. That is Prize Picks. Everyone's favorite Prize Picks holiday promotion is back. 7 days of Picksmas. Prize Mix is giving out 7 days of deals all the way through Christmas Day, including a Christmas Day max discount. Picksmas started on December 20th and is running through Christmas, so download the app today and unwrap those deals. Here's a little lineup I've got for this upcoming weekend. I took more on Caleb Williams passing yards. That number has been higher the last couple of weeks than 229.5, so I like the more there. Christian McCaffrey, half a rushing or receiving touchdown. It's a goblin play. He's been scoring a bunch. I like him to score again. And then Colson Loveland. I ran it last week. I'm going to run it back this week. I think he scores this week. He gets into the end zone. Just needs to get one touchdown. $20 lineup to win $85. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It is good to be right. All right, some good injury news, great injury news, I would say, for the Chicago Bears. Two notable players that were either hurt and did not play last week or left with injury were limited today, which is a very good sign. That being Luther Burden III, the wide receiver who missed last week with an ankle injury he suffered the week before against Cleveland. And then C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who, when it happened, that knee injury, you're like, man, his cleat got stuck in the ground, kind of non-contact-y, but he was limited. He was out there. He's not on crutches, I've been told. So that's a very, very good sign for C.J. Gardner-Johnson. We kind of knew he had avoided a major injury, but this is confirmation that he was able to go out there and do something today. So that is a big development for the Chicago Bears. Even if he misses this game, which he might even be the smart thing to give him a week here. But he's obviously been fantastic with Kyler Gordon not being able to play. So definitely pumped up that he is not going to miss extended time here. And Brad Biggs seemed to hint that Luther Burden's in a good position to keep trending forward and play on Sunday. For Odunze, we'll get to him in a minute. He did not practice, but to have these guys out there on the practice field was great. Travis Homer was also limited with an ankle. Drew Dahlman with an ankle and a hand injury. Not too concerned there. Probably just some wear and tear. Nashawn Wright with the hamstring. Limited, so I'm not freaking, but obviously he's been really good for this team, so you want him out there. Kevin Byard with that ankle. He's a vet, so he's going to get nicked up. Eamon Ogbongbemiga with that hamstring. He missed last week, so maybe you get a special teamer back this week. And then Luke Newman, we hit you guys with the news a couple days ago that they opened his practice window. He was limited with a foot injury that got him on IR, which is where he currently sits. Now, Odunze did not practice once again, as he is still dealing with that stress fracture in his foot. Now, as Ben Johnson said the other day, and we'll kind of reiterate it here, they do expect to get him back. He said, we've been working through his rehab process. He's right on track. He's going to be in a good spot. He's going to be able to help us this year. So I'm going to take Ben's word on that. I do think we'll see him at some point. Now, when is that? Is it next week against Detroit? Does something change this week for San Francisco? I doubt it for this week. Maybe you get him out there for a few snaps next week, and then you're ready to go for the playoffs, or maybe you just save him for the playoffs. Now, I'll keep saying what I've been saying. It's a stress fracture. It's not going to be 100%. It's probably not going to be 90%. But if he can, shoot up some kind of painkiller and play at 80% in the postseason, I still think it's worth having him out there because he garners attention and can obviously make some plays. So we'll see when he's back. Ben Johnson seems to think that he will be at some point, but it's not looking like it'll be this week. Okay, something to keep an eye on. TJ Edwards popped back up on the injury report. He's kind of been in and out of the lineup all year. Did not practice with what was labeled as a glute injury. So hopefully that's not overly concerning, but you just got Tremaine back. I didn't think he looked great in his first game back. TJ's finally full throttle, and now he's nicked up again, so we'll monitor this situation. But this linebacker position, they've just been shuffling all year. I mean, luckily DeMarco Jackson's been a steady hand the last several weeks, but that would certainly be a bummer if TJ's had some kind of setback and were to miss some time. But, not going to say that's the case just yet, but definitely going to keep an eye on the injury report over the next couple of days, and we'll have that all covered. Now, illness going around, 4 guys that did not practice as well. 3 of them dealt with an illness. Then Joe Thuney got a rest day. So none of these guys are hurt, so that's good news. Devin Duvernay, DeMarco Jackson, Nick McLeod dealing with an illness. Joe Thuney, rest day. It's Wednesday. It's early in the week. I'm not too concerned about a guy picking up the flu here and there. What you don't want is, for it to massively spread throughout the team, right? And, you've got a third of the team dealing with some kind of sickness for this game on Sunday. So knock on wood that's not the case, but we'll see how the rest of the week goes. I will say this. In general, the Bears are getting pretty healthy. Now, we'll keep an eye on this TJ thing. We'll see how Rome progresses, but other than the guys on season-ending IR, all these guys have a chance to play, and a lot of them are already back. So, you get Burden back into the fold, hopefully Rome at some point. Ideally, this TJ thing isn't a big deal, but I do think, in general, the Bears are relatively healthy at the right time of the season. Now, a guy who's banged up for the 49ers, George Kittle, left Monday Night Football against the Colts with an ankle injury. It is not a high ankle sprain. It is a low to mid-ankle sprain per Jeremy Fowler. Kyle Shanahan spoke to the media today and said there's a chance he plays in Week 17. So I take that as, okay, whether he plays or not, he's clearly not 100% now. Kind of like the Rome Odunze thing. If he's 80%, that's still worth having him out there because George Kittle is such a difference maker and is such a kind of just explosive safety valve simultaneously for Brock Purdy. He makes this offense go in a lot of ways. He's a great blocker. He grew up a Bears fan. You think he'd want to play, but we'll keep an eye on him over the next couple of days as we get closer and closer to the weekend. All right, that is going to do it for this edition of Chicago Bears. Now, as we get out of here, predict the score, Bears, 49ers. Who you got winning and what is the final score going to be? Drop those score predictions down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We will be here every single day. We've got our joint preview coming up with our 49ers report host, Chase Sr. So that'll be a fun video here on the channel. Don't miss that. And we'll see you guys very soon. Happy holidays. All right, mailbag time, hashtag Bears or super chat. Colin, if there are any either blank message supers or irrelevant ones, we can knock those out before the mailbag. But kind of going a little quicker today. Colin and I got to get out of here. We both have family obligations. That's why we're A, live today because we're not working on Christmas, and B, why we're live earlier because we both got to leave before 5 o'clock. So, still doing a show for you guys, but a little earlier, a little quicker. So,
yep, just getting everything fixed and praying that nothing else shines on Harry today other than his just, views on the world.
My natural aura.
There you go. That's the word I was looking for.
Aura.
Aura. Also, again, just dealing with stuff before the show. I didn't even say this. This is my apology. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate Merry Christmas Eve.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays and all that. So hopefully you guys are doing well. Sorry for the kind of beginning of the show. It was a little chaotic, but we're here. We're back.
Got it figured out.
So
get those questions in. Hashtag Bears Super Chat. If you got a Christmas wish list for the Bears, get those questions in the chat. We will answer those just as soon as we can. Big Spicy at Chicago. Yeah. Let's control the clock and take the North. Happy holiday and a happy new year. Thank you, Big Spicy. Likewise to you. And, I think one way to slow down that 49ers offense, Colin, is some long, drawn-out drives. So we'll see if what the Bears' approach is. But that offense was humming against the Colts the other night, that's for sure.
They really were. And they got into a rhythm because, A, they were able to run the football, and B, Brock Purdy was able to kind of sit there in the pocket and just be a distributor, which is what he does best. I mean, he can execute an offense when he's on fire with some of the best of them in just terms of, getting the ball into playmakers' hands and letting them either run after the catch or just getting them in advantageous positions.
Thought it was one of his best games in a while.
Yeah.
Now, part of it was just all day to throw. They were able to establish McCaffrey. Guys were getting open, but he made a lot of throws, and that offense was moving the ball with ease. So that was a pretty good showing. Joe Schultz, appreciate the 5 from you as well. Alex says, happy holidays, Harrison. Bears already made my Christmas. Yeah, and hopefully they give us more. Hopefully they give us a happy new year with a strong finish and on into the post-season. Daily Basis says, Merry Christmas. HG and Colin been watching since Pace got fired, and you've been my favorite Bears channel ever since. Let's go 4-0 in this quarter. Let's do it, man. Let's do it, and that's love. Ryan Pace got fired in January of 2022, so that's a while. That's a while ago. Appreciate you supporting. DePolish, thinking of getting my painting my nails for the playoffs. LOL, something I've never done. Merry Christmas, Harrison and Colin and Bears family. I've never painted my nails. I will say this. My wife finally got me out to the place she goes to, and I got one of those, I guess it's qualifies as a pedicure where they rub your feet, rub your feet, all that, clean your nail. Dude, it was fantastic. I mean,
was that your first time?
Yes. Your feet feel incredible.
Like you're walking on a cloud.
Oh, I will be back for that.
Yeah.
And if the Bears make the Super Bowl, the nails may have to be painted. The vibes are going to be high. So, we gotta lean into it, baby. Remy, grade this take. With the current offensive weapons and O-line, Ben Johnson could scheme up a player caliber offense with Justin Fields at the helm. I mean, I think Ben Johnson could get more out of Justin Fields than other guys can. The problem is Justin Fields really struggles to play in structure at all. Caleb's actually gotten a lot better at that this year. Like he's near the top of the NFL in play action passing yards, and a lot of that is just deep play fakes, sit in the pocket, deliver the football. I think he could be better, but like I'll put it this way: you plug Justin Fields in, Caleb Williams out. I don't think it's as good of an offense. I also don't think it is even relevant more than anything else. So it is what it is. Matt Eberflus feels like Caleb is who we thought Fields was. I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, I was amped up for Fields when they drafted him. I believed in him for a long time, but, after a while, it is what it is. I don't think they're that similar. I mean, both are athletic. Both have good arms. Caleb's got a much better arm and a much smoother release. Justin's certainly more of a scrambler, but yeah, who cares? I mean, it's Fields ain't here, guys. It's over with. So, and he's probably going to get cut. So, who's going to ask me on an offseason mailbag, should we sign Justin Fields?
Everybody.
It's coming.
Everybody.
It is coming. Come be the Taysom Hill of the Bears, they're going to say.
Yeah.
Which, in that role, sure, but I don't think it would be in Chicago.
He's also not Taysom Hill.
No.
Like, Justin Fields is an athlete, don't get me wrong. He's worthy of being on an NFL field in that regard, but he just simply isn't the do-it-all Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing tight end.
No.
I do think he could play some running back.
Yeah.
He's
more of a straight line runner, though, than he is like a shifty runner.
Yeah. I mean, you'd almost have to use him on just toss cracks, just hit the seam and go.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I'm glad we don't have to try to make that work anymore. They tried. And it wasn't all his fault, but I think his time is gone. It's
over.
His limitations have shown to be true. All right, more questions that we'll take. Hashtag Bears or Super Chat. Let's get a few more in there, and then we'll get rolling here. So fire those into the chat. Hashtag Bears or Super Chat, and we can throw that one in the mailbag as well from Volts and Timber. Might as well. All right. Let's go ahead and dive in here on Chicago Bears now. From Doodle Bob, thoughts on the Bears Pro Bowl selection. So obviously they had three of them. Joe Thuney, Drew Dahlman, and Kevin Byard made the Pro Bowl this year. I think all very worthy selections. I also thought that Darnell Wright, Jonah Jackson, and Nashawn Wright had pretty good arguments. Now, Nashawn in particular is a bit of a tough one because he's also given up 7 touchdowns, which is at or near the lead. So, he's had a bit of boom or bust, although the second half of the year, I actually think he's been more consistent in giving up catches too, which hasn't given up as many. Jonah Jackson's had a strong year. He had a strong case, and I think Darnell just got stuck in a tough NFC tackle class with Trent Williams, Penei Sewell, and Tristan Wirfs. I think he was probably that next guy. So, I think the guys that made it were worthy. I think 3 to 5 more guys were worthy as well. I think Josh Blackwell and special teams had a case, and maybe a couple other guys. But, I think the Bears have had a lot of good individual seasons here. DG, what's your gut telling you about how far we're going? Well, I'll put it this way. I filmed a 4 Verts episode, which is my other YouTube channel, where we talk about the NFL as a whole, college football, and I did a contenders and pretenders video. I had the Bears in my Super Bowl contenders category. I have 6 teams who I think could win the Super Bowl right now, and that could change after the last 2 weeks of the regular season, but I think they got a shot. My gut's telling me they'll probably get to either the divisional or NFC championship game. I don't love their chances if they play the Rams, but against everybody else, I think they have a pretty decent chance. So I do think they'll win at least a playoff game, but, you know, the NFC's stacked, man. I mean, like, the Packers are probably going to be the 7th seed. That's going to be a tough game if that's who you play. So there's not going to be any layups, you know, unless you get a bye and play Tampa or Carolina. And even then, if that happens, that means they won their first round. So you never know. So you got to play good ball. You got to be buttoned up. And you have one bad game, your season's over. So that's kind of the blessing and the curse of the NFL playoffs. Okay, in your opinion, what seed will the Bears get in the NFC? They can still get the 1 seed. They can be all the way down to the 7th seed. The only seed they cannot get as of filming this is the 4 seed. That will be Tampa or Carolina. Other than that, they could get the 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, or 7. What seed do you think they'll get? Okay, Posey Jones, I hate to say it, but if we don't pressure Purdy, he may throw 5 touchdowns again. I think this will be Caleb throwing for 300 yards. It might have to be a shootout like that. You know, last week I was saying take that bend don't break approach. I would probably try that again, but if that's not working, do you just take some chances if you're Dennis Allen, try to fluster him, get pressure? Because unlike Jordan Love, Purdy's not going to drift back and still have the arm strength to launch downfield. Now, he is pretty good out of structure. If he breaks contain, he can throw on the run. But if you're drifting him backwards, I think you will live with those situations. Yeah, he's been really good the last few weeks for the 49ers in that offense. All right, we got Enixon with the super chat. Does Walker make you feel better about trading DJ? Jade Walker, I mean, it was one game and he made a couple of really nice plays, but DJ Moore is clearly the better player. Now, again, and I've kind of said this, I'm going to keep saying it, the DJ Moore trade thing, that's a conversation for this offseason. It will be discussed, whether we like it or not. It's going to be a storyline out there. Could they use that money better elsewhere for a pass rusher, et cetera? Like, it's going to be discussed. But right here, right now, DJ Moore is your top weapon because Odunze is injured, and even when he's back, he's not going to be 100%. So DJ the last 2 weeks has been big time, and he stepped up to the plate, and you're going to need him to continue to do that for this football team. All right, DJ Moore finished off another cardiac Bears game as they were able to take down the Green Bay Packers on Saturday night. If you want to get your Cardiac Bears t-shirts, they're awesome. Chatsports.com/cardiacbears. You can click and shop today. That link will be in the comments and in the description of this video. Get your Cardiac Bears t-shirts right now. All right, Alex Todd, these guys still talking about Justin Fields. What are we bringing Rex Grossman back next? Caleb is the guy, folks. Hop on the wagon. Yeah, before we got into this mailbag segment during our live show, people were asking, what would Justin Fields do in this offense, yada, yada. A, it's irrelevant because he's not here, and B, I'm kind of with Alex Todd. It's like, we're still talking about Justin Fields. He went to the Steelers. You know, they gave Russ the job after he got healthy. He never played again. He went to the Jets. They gave him $30 million guaranteed, and they're going to cut him after 1 year. So I'm not trying to rip on the guy, but, like, he's gone. Caleb's the guy. Let's focus on that. DC Viper, what is Stevenson's future after this season since he will be entering the final year of his deal? Does the injury and inconsistent play a factor? Oh, I mean, he's mostly been healthy throughout his 3 seasons. He's missed a couple games this year, but durability has mostly been a strength of his. I think he's actually played pretty well this year when he has played. Obviously, he was a full-time starter. And, look, Jalen Johnson got healthy in the way Nashawn Wright's played. Tyreek's kind of been that third outside corner. He's still getting some snaps because Jalen hasn't been playing 100% of the snaps. But I would guess he's back. I mean, you could trade him if you try to bring Nashawn Wright back and try to get something for Stevenson because I do think he's a starting corner in this league. But right now, I would guess he's back in 2026. Subscribe to the channel. We got Bears videos all year long. Every single day, at least one video. Most days we do 2. We also go live every Monday, Thursday, and game day. We do short form content as well. Don't miss any of it. Hit that subscribe button for free. Michael, I don't think Caleb's growth gets talked about enough from a mental perspective. I don't think fans realize it that under Ben Johnson, he's never worn a play sheet wristband. He's memorized the entire playbook. Go beat the Niners, FGB. I've talked about it a decent amount. I think it just compare week 1 to now, the pre-snap operation is so much better. There's a lot of checking. He's changing the formation. Almost every single play, he's getting 2 plays in the huddle. So if he needs to check to a second play, he can do that. He has done that. I think post-snap recognition has been better. His eyes are in the right spot a lot of the time. A lot of the time on his misses, it's just that, a miss. It's not that he wasn't going or through his progressions and getting to the right read. He just didn't make the throw. So I think he's been playing a lot better. I think his last 10 quarters, 2.5 games, starting with that second half in Green Bay, have been really good. Right at 60%, 648 yards and 6 touchdowns in the last 10 quarters. So that's pretty good. So I like how he's playing right now, and I'm with you. Yeah, the stats are the stats, and they're mostly good with the completion percentage being the exception. But I think the eye test of just him understanding and learning the offense is something that has not probably been discussed enough nationally. Big dumper out of all the playoff scenarios. Oh, excuse me. Whew, it's Christmas Eve. Got up early. Which are the most likely? I think the most likely is you're the 2 seed and the Packers are the 7 seed. I think that's the most likely scenario. That's where it sits right now. The Bears need 1 win or 1 Packers loss to clinch the division, which means if the Packers lose, they get at least the 3 seed. If they win 1 more game, they're the 2 seed, the Bears, So they're in a pretty good spot to get the 2 seed. And Green Bay, assuming the Bears don't lose out and they win out, is going to be probably the 6 or the 7. So I would say Bears-Packers Part 3 at Soldier Field is a very high possibility. I would also say Bears-49ers at Soldier Field is a possibility. If you beat the Niners this week, they play Seattle next week. They could lose that as well. That could very easily turn into the 2-7 game, Bears-49ers at Soldier Field. And speaking of that matchup, we get that matchup at Levi Stadium this week in Santa Clara. Who do you got winning, and what is the final score going to be? And to that point, this is a great measuring stick game because you might play them again in a couple of weeks or at some point in the postseason. So let me know, who do you got winning, and what is the final score going to be? Alex Hamling, I'm so glad Ben put Caleb under center. Me too. Number 1, all the good offenses utilize under center these days. So that's 1. And 2, it's helped him learn how to play NFL quarterback and kind of just pick it up quicker this year. And, of course, there's been some challenges, some growing pains, but for much of the season, he's actually been more efficient under center than in the shotgun. So, yeah, I'm with you, Alex. It opens up a lot of things in the offense. Dylan, who has been your favorite player to watch this season? It's hard to pick one. I have really enjoyed watching Caleb grow, develop, play in this offense. The first month I would have said Odunze. He was on a tear. Then, clearly later on we found out he'd been playing through the foot issue, so that's a bummer. Hopefully he can get back. I think Kyle Monungai has been a fun player. So is DeAndre Swift. I'm a huge Luther Burden fan, so I hope his workload continues to increase. How could you not say Kevin Byard and Deshaun Wright? All of the offensive linemen. I mean, there's been a lot of guys. It's hard to pick just one. So, there's 10, 12, 13 guys I just mentioned right there. All right, Crisis King with the 5. Appreciate all the questions and super chats, guys. Merry Christmas to you guys. I've been watching since 2021, and since you guys have blessed us with amazing Bears content, let's get this dub. Bear down. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank everybody for rocking with us for 1 day or 5 years. We've been here for a while, and we plan on being here for a while. So hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Follow me on social media at HGramNFL, Twitter, Instagram, and on my new TikTok. We're closing in on 1,000 followers over there. Go give me a follow on TikTok at HGramNFL. I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, bear down. Alrighty.
I think the Christmas schedule and, I can't claim to go through what you're going through because you're literally moving an entire house.
Yeah.
Being a dad, being a husband.
I was late getting to sleep, early waking up today. That's why I got my Coke Zero in here. We ran out of Celsius packets in the office. That's been devastating. Hopefully, my last Christmas present wish is some Celsius packets for when we get back in the office in a few days.
That would be nice. That'd be nice. Very appreciated at our bosses.
Yes, of course.
I might actually grab a Coke Zero myself. Get those score predictions in. Coming up next here on Bears Now, talking a little Caleb Williams.
Little Iceman. We'll talk about Caleb, his clutch gene, how good he's been in the clutch this year. We'll get into that next. You're not late, Milkman. We're early. Normally we don't even go live on a Wednesday, but since tomorrow's Christmas, wanted to go live today. And Cullen and I came in early so we could leave early. We both have family obligations today. So we'll be live for another 30, 45 minutes or so, and then we're gonna sign off. Quicker stream, earlier stream today, but still wanted to do a stream for you guys. So appreciate everybody who's been rocking and rolling with us. Normally our live schedule is every Monday and Thursday at 4 o'clock, and then an hour and 15 before kickoff every game day. Then we stay live all the way through our post-game festivities. So we, of course, will be live Sunday night at 6 o'clock. So should be good. All right, Jim, we'll get to your super chat after this segment. He says he'll be at the game, bear down. That'll be fun. Little Levi's action. Bring us home a dub, Jim. We'll flash your super chat after this segment. But first, we got to talk about our quarterback, Caleb Williams, the Iceman, his nickname that's kind of started to gain steam here. We'll talk about it next. Coming up here on Chicago Bears Now, the Iceman, Caleb Williams. Want to dive a little bit deeper into this nickname, the clutchness he's shown this year, and why Bears fans, I think, can be really excited about who they have under center at the quarterback position. And I want to know from you guys, do you guys like the Iceman nickname? Just Iceman? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I think it's pretty cool. I don't like when people give themselves nicknames, which he did not here. We'll talk about the origin of the nickname as well for anyone who may have missed it. But I think it's pretty cool. And who knows, maybe we'll do some merch, do a little Iceman shirt at some point as well. So if you like the nickname, type Y for yes. If you don't, type in for no. And let's dive into today's show. I'm Harrison Graham. You're watching Chicago Bears Now, the Iceman, the Cole Palmer Selly, which Caleb has been doing, and the nickname came before that, which I do want to get to here in a second. Stick with us, though, because we'll talk about how clutch he's been, and, a stat from Peter Schrager that really caught my attention as well. So we'll get into it all here on Chicago Bears Now. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Let's first talk about the origin of the nickname, because it seemingly came out of nowhere a few weeks back, and I had to double check to make sure, but it really started, I'm guessing, before this post in that locker room. It had started within the team, but Luther Burden commented on either the Bears post or Caleb Williams, can't remember who it was, who posted this on Instagram and said, Iceman. And then it started to make the rounds, and, Caleb started getting asked about it and the nickname, and Ben Johnson, yada, yada. And Ben Johnson was like, yeah, he's got the ice in the veins. So they've kind of leaned into it a little bit here. And I think it's pretty fitting for the Chicago Bears quarterback, right? Especially now that they have a quarterback who's playing well. It's a fun combination of bear weather, because that was after that Giants game when it was snowy and windy, and because he's had the clutch gene. He had it last year, and he had some game-winning drives taken away from him by incompetence led by Matt Eberflus. But this year, that clutch gene has been on full display early and often throughout the 2025 NFL season. So I think Iceman fits being in the Windy City. So I think that nickname is probably here to stay when it comes to Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. Okay. Why has he earned the nickname Iceman? Well, for the clutch standpoint, is he leads the NFL with 6 fourth-quarter comebacks. And it started all the way back in Week 4, which I'd love to play the Raiders again. I don't think it would take the Iceman coming out to win that one. I think they would just handle business. Probably same with Washington, too. But things change over the course of the season. They were able to get that game-winning drive from Caleb in that one, and then sealed it with the Josh Blackwell field goal block in Washington. Obviously was able to drive down, make a couple of clutch throws, and win that game. Cincinnati, I think, was the first major, notable moment. They blow that lead, the defense does, and then Williams hits Colston Loveland on just that piss missile, which he was able to spin off and score a touchdown. When the nickname was born, at least publicly, that was the Giants game where they were down 10 in the fourth quarter and he led back-to-back touchdown drives. And then, of course, this last one against Green Bay, the most iconic and notable one of all, throwing that touchdown on fourth down to Jade Walker to tie the game. And then, of course, the overtime game winner to DJ Moore. And I think one thing that's cool is other than that Vikings one, which was the fifth one, remember Duvernay popped the return and they ran the ball twice and kicked a field goal or whatever. Obviously, Caleb didn't really do anything in that one. In that moment to win the game. He had good plays throughout the game. But other than that one, he's engineered a lot of these comebacks. I mean, he's been the reason why they've been able to come back down the stretch and win these games, especially against the Bengals, the Giants, and the Packers. So that's been really, really cool to see. And you could just tell that, like, the heart rate slows down a little bit for him in those moments. He's very comfortable in playing under pressure and in those situations. It's almost like he just thinks less and goes out and plays, and that's very, very exciting to think about in terms of when he just gets better overall and continues to improve, how good this guy could actually be. We'll kind of talk about that aspect of it and a Peter Schrager stat coming up here in just a moment, but we are sponsored by Prize Picks here on today's show. It is the holiday season, the best time of year for sports, bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once, and while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right. That is Prize Picks. You can follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app, including me, and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. If you go to the feed tab, search at HGramNFL, you will find me. You will find this lineup right there, and you can copy it in one click. I like more than 228 and a half passing yards for Caleb Williams against the 49ers. I also like Christian McCaffrey to score a touchdown, more than half a rushing or receiving touchdown. He's got like 16 total. He's been fantastic. And then Colston Loveland, demon play. I like him to find the end zone as well. $20 lineup to win $85. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. All right. Some stats in the big moments that Peter Schrager was able to provide, I think, during the Monday Night Football telecast, or it might have been on NFL Live, I'm not sure, but Schrager pulled these up, and I wanted to kind of dive into them a little bit. He said he's been so good on third down all season. This stat is crazy. He has the most touchdowns and the highest passer rating for any quarterback when trailing on third down plays. He's been so clutch all season. He just had the amazing game versus the Packers. I also love this. How are you going to be at the face of the franchise? The very next morning at 9 a.m., he and Pete Crow-Armstrong, the Cubs player, were out there doing a toy drive and feeding the homeless on Sunday. I like that stuff. That stuff matters. He's maturing as the face of the franchise. And while he was doing that, he was rocking the cheese grater hat, which is just a fantastic look. He's taking pictures with fans and stuff like that. But for the on-field part of it, in the clutch, money downs, third and fourth down, trailing in the fourth quarter, tied in fourth quarter, overtime. Like, how are you going to play? Are you going to elevate or are you going to shrink? We know he's clutch. He's done it for 2 years now. He did it all last year. Again, we don't have to go through every example where he had a big-time clutch moment taken away from him. That's all documented. This year, the team is good enough where it's resulted in 6 comeback victories. And the only time he really failed in that situation was on the road at Lambeau Field. And even in that game, they erased a big deficit, got it tied, and were driving down 7 late. Drove the length of the field, not a 4th and 1, threw a ball a little late. Otherwise, he probably ties that game up as well. So he's very comfortable. He's very confident. The heart rate slows down. He does not get nervous when the moments, when the lights turn on, right? When the bright lights shine, he's ready to go. So the fact that part of it is already there, like, that's franchise quarterback level stuff. Like, do we trust you with the game on the line? And that's why heading into the playoffs, like if it's close late, you feel like this guy's going to deliver for you. You really, really do. So that's a really, really encouraging sign early in a young quarterback's career, and he absolutely has that it factor. If you are all in on Caleb Williams, show some love, get the 18s going down in the comment section below. You guys know where I stand. I think he's a big-time talent, and he's going to be a big-time player, and in some ways he already is. Now, obviously, over the course of his career, moving forward, I mean, a big emphasis this offseason is just going to be, being more consistent, right? I mean, we want that number to start with the 6 next year in the completion percentage category, certainly. But here's what's big. Caleb is already excellent in the big moments. Imagine what it could look like if he just becomes more consistent, which I think he will. Is he ever going to be a 71% completion guy? I don't know. But if he could be just like in the 63 to 65% and continue to be a guy who doesn't turn the ball over a lot, who makes big plays in the clutch, like you're going to be looking at one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. Like you just are. Like that's what this is going to be if he gets a little bit more consistent. I would say he's already top half of the league, but that next step, next year and rest of this year is just getting even more consistent throughout the course of the game. Because if he can do that, then the Bears are going to have something really, really special if they don't already. All right, there you go. Caleb Iceman Williams. He's been clutch. Hopefully he can continue to be that the rest of this season. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We will continue to pump out content here on a daily basis. My name is Harrison Graham. Bear down. All right, Jim says, I'll be at the game Sunday. Bear down. Get the bear downs in for Jim. Bring us home a dub, Jim. Let's go.
Let's go, Jim.
Shout out to Jim. Dark City. Bears have no chance against San Francisco. Purdy in Super Bowl form. I disagree. I don't think they have no chance. I do agree that Purdy's playing really well, but every game is different. If you don't get pressure on him, it's going to be tough, certainly. But I think the Bears can score on the 49ers. They should be able to put up some points. So they also have a 2-day rest advantage. So let's see. Let the chips fall where they may. They're going to have to play better than they did against the Packers at home in terms of just kind of sleepwalking for a couple quarters. But, yeah, I'll disagree. I do think they have a chance. Alex, number 18, Coffin Nails, nickname for the win. That's a good one as well. That is certainly a good one as well. No question about it. But the Iceman seems to be gaining momentum. So we'll see if it sticks. But, all right, we're going to keep it rolling here. It is Christmas Eve, so we're not doing, the longest stream ever, but we did want to go live for you guys.
Shout out to all y'all that are tuning in on Christmas Eve. Again, Merry Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. Happy holidays for everybody else here that have joined us. Seriously, we appreciate it. How many people do we have? We have 500 people watching us.
Yeah, you guys that's awesome. Thank you guys for taking a portion of your day and hanging out with Colin and I. We appreciate it. And we got one more segment to go, and then we'll wrap up here. So if you got any super chats, fire those in now. We'll hit those after this segment, and then we're going to sign off and call it a night. But coming up next, Bears, Niners. Who wins? Keys to victory. My prediction. Stay tuned. Sunday night football. It doesn't get much better as the Chicago Bears take on the San Francisco 49ers. In the Bay Area, the over-under set at 50.5. Niners a slight 3-point favorite. So Vegas starting to come around on the Bears, considering they're only a 3-point dog on the road. Now, they do have a 2-day rest advantage. That's worth mentioning. They played Saturday night. Niners played Monday night in Indianapolis, similar cross-country flight. So we'll see if the Bears can take advantage of that. But a huge game with huge stakes here on Sunday Night Football. All right, if you want the Bears to win and get closer to the number 1 seed, hit that like button. The Bears guarantee themselves at least the number 2 seed if they are able to win this football game. So if you want the Bears to win and perhaps have a chance at the 1 seed in Week 18, go ahead and like this video. All right, here is where the playoff picture sits heading into this game. Now, if you're watching this after the Christmas games or after the Saturday games, some minor things could change with Detroit. If they lose, they could be eliminated, or if Green Bay wins, Detroit could be eliminated. So a couple things could get tinkered with, but you guys get the gist. The Bears own the 2 seed, and if they win out, they're guaranteed the 2 seed. If they win one game, they're guaranteed the 2 seed. So it'd be nice to at least get this one done. So what is at stake overall? If the Bears win, they're guaranteed NFC North champs and the 2 seed. If the Packers lose on Saturday, by the way, and if you're watching this Sunday, that may have already happened. They play the Ravens. Then the Bears are guaranteed division champs. Now, they aren't guaranteed the 2 seed yet because if Philadelphia were to win out and the Bears were to lose out, the Eagles could get the 2 and the Bears would get the 3, but they would be guaranteed a top 3 seed. Obviously, if the Bears win their final 2 games, they could get the number 1 overall seed if Seattle were to lose one of their 2 final games. For San Francisco, if they win out, not only are they the NFC West champs, they get the number 1 seed in the NFC. They control their destiny to the number 1 seed. Why is that? Because they play Seattle next week, who they beat earlier in the year. They're 1 game back. So if they beat Seattle again and they have the same record, San Francisco jumps Seattle in the division and therefore gets the number 1 seed because that's where Seattle sits right now. Okay, here are some team stats for each team. The Bears, 10th in scoring, just under 26 points per game. They keep climbing up in points allowed. They're up to 19th now, giving up about 23.5 points. The turnover margin, which has been huge all year, plus 21, leads the NFL by, I think, 5 or 6. Third down offense, 6th in the NFL, just under 43%. Third down defense has slipped a bit. They're 13th now at 38.7% conversion rate allowed. For the 49ers, 9th in scoring. So the Bears and Niners flipped this week because San Francisco scored 48 points against the Colts. They're now up to 26.1 points per game. They're 12th in scoring defense, just over 21 a game. Despite that, they are not great in the turnover margin. They are -4. So I think that is where the Bears have a huge advantage here. If they can win the turnover battle, they'll have a good chance at winning this game. Niners have been awesome on third down, 2nd in the NFL. They convert half the time. Defensively, middle of the pack, give up third down 39% of the time. In the red zone, the Bears are right in the middle, 16th. They score touchdowns 59% of the time. They climbed up big time red zone defense because the Packers were 0 for 5 in the red zone this past week in scoring touchdowns. So Bears now up to 9th there. 49ers are 8th at 63.3% in scoring touchdowns, 18th in touchdown rate allowed in the red zone at just under 59%. All right, who has the edge? I'm going to go push at head coach. Now, hear me out, and if Niner fans will watch this, what the hell? It's Ben Johnson's first year. I'm talking about right here, right now, this year. Both these coaches have been unreal. Both these coaches have very strong cases for winning Coach of the Year, that being Ben Johnson and Kyle Shanahan. You could argue the winner of this game should be the favorite. Now, obviously, Liam Cohen, Mike Vrabel, they have strong cases as well. I'd say those 4 guys are the clear top 4 to win the award this year. Obviously, Shanahan has more skins on the wall. No one's disputing that. But I think we can fairly say 15 games into his first season, Ben Johnson knows what the hell he's doing. He's a smart play caller. He's a good game manager. He's been really good with timeouts and challenges this year. That's something he's actually been better at than Shanahan. So, yeah, I think right here, right now, it's a push. They're 2 of the top 5 or 6 in the NFL currently going. Okay, quarterback. You got to lean 49ers. Caleb's been good. He's trending up. But Purdy's just more consistent, and that's okay. Since the Carolina game, Brock's been really good. He's only played in 7 games this year because he's missed some time with that turf toe injury, but been more consistent. Now, he has more turnovers in half the game, so I do think that is noteworthy. But the QB rating 102 to 90 or so. So he has certainly been the better player. Now, Caleb generates more explosives, has a more kind of explosive nature to his game. Purdy's more of a distributor, and when he's playing like that, he's tough to defend. I'm not saying I'd necessarily take Purdy long term. I'm just saying right now you'd have to give him the edge in this regard. All right, Week 17 is here. The 49ers report. They got a lead on us in new subscribers. I challenged them this week, and they have answered the bell. If you want free and daily Bears content, if you want to beat the San Francisco 49ers report and new subscribers, hit that subscribe button. They're at 301. We're at 219. Let's close the gap. Okay, skilled players. A little tough with the injury situation. When we're filming this earlier in the week, don't exactly know who's going to play. I think it's close enough. I'll leave it as a push. Rome Odunze, Luther Burden dealing with injuries. Luther could be trending up, and by the time you're watching this, maybe he's been cleared to play. George Kittle is Shanahan said on Wednesday he has a chance to play. We'll see how he progressed throughout the week. Ricky Pearsall, I doubt he plays either. I would lean Bears if both Rome and Luther were out there, but you could argue if both George Kittle and CMC are out there, they've got the two best players in the skill department. Now, you could say the Bears have more volume. They got DJ Moore. They have Luther Burden when he's healthy. Rome Odunze, two really good tight ends, whereas the Niners have one really good tight end, obviously the best one in George Kittle. So I'll leave it at push. I think it's pretty close, and the injuries kind of make it a blurrier picture as well. Okay, offensive line, Bears are better. Crazy to say, but, I think the Niners' O-line's been better the last few weeks, but Trent Williams is awesome, and the rest of that unit's kind of just okay. So Bears are more solid across the board, especially outside of left tackle. Okay, defensive line. I thought about actually giving the Bears the edge, but the 49ers, those two rookie defensive tackles are getting better, Alfred Collins and C.J. West. The Bears still go really long stretches at times without generating pressure. Now, the Niners don't get much pressure either, so this is a push, but not because both are really good, probably because both are a little bit underwhelming. Linebackers, I'll give the advantage to the Bears. Dean Winters had a pick six the other night. He's playing some good ball for the Niners, but the Bears have multiple good linebackers. Now we'll see what the injury situation is, but I would lean Chicago here, especially with Fred Warner out for the year. Secondary, I will also go with the Bears. Kevin Byard's having a great year. Jalen Johnson seems to be getting a little bit better each week as he's been making his way back from his long injury that cost him most of this season. We'll see what C.J. Gardner-Johnson's situation is, but you've also got Nashawn Wright. Jaquan Brisker's been playing, so I would lean the Bears in the secondary. And on paper, the Bears' defense is better. It is a better group when you factor in the injuries the 49ers have suffered. I mean, Fred Warner, Mykel Williams, Nick Bosa, it's a lot to overcome. So I would lean Chicago's defense being better overall and certainly better on paper, and they lead the NFL in takeaways. All right, we'll get to special teams in a second, but I do got to tell you guys about our awesome sponsor. That is Prize Picks. It's the holiday season, the best time of year for sports, bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once, and while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right. That is Prize Picks. On Prize Picks, how you play is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose the Flex Play option, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the Power Play. No matter your play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. For this weekend, I got a little 3-player lineup. I like more on Caleb Williams' passing yards. He's been trending up in that area recently. Also, like Christian McCaffrey to score a touchdown, more than half rushing or receiving, doesn't matter. I think he gets in there, so give me the more on that. And then Colson Loveland, Demon pick. I think he scores this week. I think the Niners linebackers can get caught in tough spots defending tight end, so I'll take Loveland to score. $20 to win $85. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Okay, special teams. Going to go with the 49ers. PFF keeps a season-long grading system for all special teams units. The Niners are first. Eddie Pinheiro, former Bears kicker, just missed for the first time, and it was from 64 on Monday night, and it hit the crossbar. So he's been automatic. Their punt game has been good, and they've just covered well. They've been excellent on special teams. The Bears have been good as well. 11th, they started really poorly, so that's been kind of slowly climbing up throughout the season. I think Richard Hightower's done a good job to get this group back on track. Torrey Taylor's been good, not great. Still looking for kind of that next jump, but he's had some good moments back-to-back weeks with a punt down inside the 5. Cairo's coming off probably his best game of the year, making some big kicks in tough conditions against the Packers, and the coverage units have been better. They haven't been consistently explosive in the return game, but Devin Duvernay has had his moments, and obviously they just recovered a huge onside kick, so 2 good special teams units. All right, let's get to some keys to victory now. I think defensively you got to carry over what you were able to accomplish in the red zone against the Packers. Kind of a bend, don't break style, give up yards between the 20s, tighten those windows up and force field goals. Green Bay was 0 for 5 in the red zone. They kicked 4 field goals, I believe. Was it 4? No, it was actually 3. They fumbled the ball, and then they either missed a field goal or had another. Oh, they had a turnover on downs on that first drive. So turnover on downs, 3 field goals, Josh Jacobs fumble. That was their 5 red zone trips. So they got in there 5 times and only got 9 points out of it. It's going to be hard to do that again, but if you force more field goals than touchdowns, maybe get a takeaway in there, that would be really, really good, because I don't expect the Dennis Allen's defense, personnel-wise, to just shut down the Niners. The Niners have not punted since November. They had a bye week the first week in December. In their last 2 games, they have not punted once. Can you force a punt? That would be another good step based on how San Francisco's playing offensively. Okay, for the Bears offense, you got to attack the 49ers back 7. I think their linebackers can be had on those intermediate routes, and those corners can be had as well. I think this can be a game where Caleb Williams has a pretty strong outing, which he's been good the last 2.5 games or so. You look at their defense, they're 23rd in passing defense. They're giving up almost 230 yards per game through the air. Rushing defense, the Niners have actually been pretty good. They shut down Jonathan Taylor. They're 8th in the NFL. Now, I still fully expect the Bears to try to run the football with DeAndre Swift and Kyle Odunze, but Caleb Williams the past 10 quarters has been good. 6 touchdowns, no picks. Completion percentage still, around 60, maybe a tick below there, but a lot of explosives, a lot of big plays. Caleb's clutched up in big spots as well. I think this 2.5 game stretch has been one of his better stretches this season, and I think it's an opportunity for him to build off of that and continue to put up good numbers and have a strong outing this week. Okay, back to the defense. You've got to stop Christian McCaffrey on the ground. I do not expect to fully contain him as a player. He's going to make some plays, especially in the passing game. But before this past week, he had been kind of, I don't want to say ineffective, but inefficient running the football. And even now, it's still 3.7 yards per carry, despite having his best game of the year, in which he averaged 5.6 yards per carry against the Colts, which you see at the bottom of your screen. But they've struggled to consistently open up lanes for him. So if you're the Bears, you got to stop him on the ground first, because he's more dangerous as a receiver, and the 49ers as a team are more dangerous throwing the football. Now, if you make them one-dimensional, I still expect them to make some plays, but any offense that's forced to do one thing and not the other, you're going to have opportunities to make plays on them. So if you can force them to throw the ball consistently, you should have some opportunities for a takeaway or, a stop, that type of thing, because when the defense knows you have to throw, it's easier to defend. Now, McCaffrey is hard to defend, period, but especially as a receiver this year, he's been awesome. He's got an outside shot to reach 1,000-yard receiving, which would be awesome for him in his career. Hopefully the Bears are, slowing down that pace, if you will, this week in terms of trying to limit Christian McCaffrey as a player in general. But, again, I think at first, stop him on the ground first. You limit him in the running game, force them to throw consistently. I think the Bears have a pretty good shot here. Okay, back to the offense. I think this is a tight ends game. I think this is a heavy dose to Colson Loveland, Cole Kmet. Tyler Warren had some opportunities, and Phillip Rivers missed him a couple times. But I mentioned earlier, these linebackers, I think you can get going on these crossers, these digs. I think Cole Kmet, Colson Loveland could have big games. The 49ers just don't have great personnel in their back 7. So I expect those 2 guys, especially Loveland, to have opportunities to get open and make some plays. You could also see guys like Olamide Zaccheaus on those short intermediate routes really feast as well. So I think that is an area through the air to attack this defense, that kind of 0 to 15-yard range down the field. And then the theme of the week is clinch the number 2 seed. You're already in the playoffs. That was step 1. You win this game, you clinch the 2 seed, which also means you win the division. The Bears could have the division won by the time they kick off on Sunday if the Packers lose on Saturday, so keep an eye on that. But if you win just one of your final 2, you clinch at least the 2 seed, and it would be nice to have that accomplished before Week 18 when you take on the Detroit Lions. Because even if the Lions are out, Dan Campbell would love nothing more than to spoil the Bears' chances of having a home playoff game. Because remember, if the Bears lose their final 2 games and the Packers win theirs, they win the division, and the Bears would have to be playing on the road and through the wild card. So job is not finished in terms of maximizing the Bears' season in terms of playoff seeding. Obviously been an awesome season regardless, but let's get at least one more win. You get one more win, you're guaranteed 2 home playoff games if you win your first one. Because if you're the 2 seed, you'll play at home in the wild card round, and you would also play at home in the divisional round as well if you win in the wild card, which would be just awesome for this franchise. All right, predict the score. Bears-Niners, who wins, and what is the final score going to be? Let us know in the comment section below who wins and why. I've really struggled with this one. I think the Niners certainly played better last week, but I think when you factor in the rest advantage, I think the Bears are going to be able to score points. I like the Bears in a shootout. Give me Chicago 34-31. I think this is going to be a fun game. I think both teams are going to light up the scoreboard, and I think the Bears, due to attrition, fatigue, they'll be the stronger team late, and they will find a way to go and win this game, whether it's Caleb with the game-winning touchdown drive down 3 or 4, or whether it's Cairo with the game-winning kick. I think they will emerge at the end of the game. They will leave the stadium as the 2 seed and with an outside shot at being the 1 seed heading into Week 18. All right, that's going to do it for this Bears-Niners preview. Be sure to join us live on Sunday night, 6 o'clock Central Time, for our pregame festivities, and we will stay live throughout the game as well for our Bears-49ers watch party. Should be a lot of fun. Subscribe, and we'll see you then. All right, we'll hit any final super chats, and then we will get out of here. He said San Francisco allowed 27 to Rivers. We have Caleb Williams. Yeah, I also think Phil Rivers, the one thing watching him play is he kind of knows what he's seeing before it happens. Like, that's pretty clear. He can really operate pre-snap, so if he can create those mismatches, even though he doesn't have the biggest arm, a lot of these throws, guys are just wide open. And so, Caleb's certainly gotten a lot better pre-snap this year, but he's not Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers played 20 years in the NFL. So, I also think sometimes, too, we do this whole, well, look what they gave up last week. And, yeah, there's some truth to that. You should be able to find some things. But these coaches are really good at what they do. These teams are really good. They make adjustments. Every game's its own entity. So just because the Colts scored 27 doesn't mean the Bears will. So, I think it'll probably take at least 27 to win this game. This feels like a 1st to 30 game to me, Colin.
Yeah.
Like, if you can get to 30, you're going to have a shot. If you're in the low mid-20s, that's probably not going to cut it.
There's going to be some moments due to, again, Brock Purdy's just ability to be a distributor, accurately get the ball to where he needs it to. Christian McCaffrey obviously giving that offense balance. And obviously, of course, look, Kyle Shanahan, is one of the best play callers in the game, arguably the best play caller on any given Sunday. So they will be, at points, I'm sure, you're going to be sitting there complaining about the defense a little bit, but the Niners are going to cause a lot of problems to a lot of teams, and they've been causing a lot of problems recently. That being said, we're fully on the Bears this Sunday. Go Chicago.
Yeah, you're well, it doesn't change that much for you, does it?
Well, it eliminates them potentially getting the 1 seed, which if you told me...
But if you guys lost to them still, they would still have the tie break.
Well, I guess just in my... So, like, if we lost to Carolina, yes.
Well, no... Oh, because you'd have a 2-game lead.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah. Okay,
yes.
I was mixed up there. That's right. Yeah, if you guys win and the Niners lose, then they can't win the division.
Exactly. So
that's huge for the Seahawks. So
and if
go Bears, go.
And if I have to lose the number 1 seed, it better be to Chicago, not those frauds in San Francisco.
Oh man.
No, listen. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good game.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. And, it's still a high-intensity game, but it should be a little looser considering both teams have clinched, right? Like, you're not playing for everything.
Right.
But you're still playing for a lot. You're kind of chasing those next goals now, so should be a lot of fun. Can't wait to see how the Bears handle this moment. They've risen to the challenge all year, and whether they win or lose, I expect them to rise to this one as well. So we are going to get out of here. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Hopefully you're spending time with your loved ones. Obviously no live tomorrow. That's why we went live today. We still will have content going out over the next few days leading up to Sunday, including our joint preview with our 49ers Report host. So be sure to check that out. You typing something real quick here?
Oh, yeah, a little festive.
Oh, okay. There you go. Bye for now. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, whatever you guys celebrate. Hopefully you guys spend it with your loved ones, and we'll have content out on the channel. We'll even have, I think we'll drop our joint preview tomorrow on Christmas. So Merry Christmas to you guys. That should be a fun video. I'd say enjoy the football tomorrow, but could be rough.
Could be rough.
Some rough games. Netflix probably not too happy with the injuries they drew, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. We'll see you guys soon. We will be back live Sunday night. Bears-49ers, 6 o'clock Central Time. Subscribe, bear down. We'll see you then.